Hey Hank, my name is Shayna. I just actually recently started watching your, channel, and absolutely it has changed the way I think about things a little bit. Not completely, that's a little melodramatic. Anyway, but, it has spawned me to start my own channel yesterday, and, basically so that I can start communicating with my best friend, because I never have time to talk to her other than text messages that you never really get anything out of them. Anyway, the reason I'm responding to this video is because I was wondering exactly why you do support Barack Obama so much. I'll admit that I did vote for him in the primary, and now that I'm actually looking into things, I feel a little iffy about it. A whole bunch of different topics, but the main ones that I'm currently focusing on are some of the more patriotic ones. Personally, I do know with him focusing basically on the us instead of them situation, definitely, I think that's an awesome, I think that's an awesome idea. However, all of our politicians should be. He's just the one who is focusing it. I do think he's a lot less corrupt than other political leaders we've had in the past, but the thought of us and them is basically it's one of the bottom lines of sociology. It's looking at the big picture rather than individuals. It's having an entire societal problem rather than individual crises. So, I'd like to start off with, I know I personally am in the armed forces, and it bothers me very much so that he refuses to wear the flag lapel, and he says that his reason is basically, why not support America and explain what you're going to do rather than just showing the pin. But I don't quite understand what, that's not a good reason to me. Another would be that he doesn't put his hand over the heart during things like the Star-Spangled Banner. I think that's extremely disrespectful. I mean, I do understand that it's just a respectful thing that we do in our culture, but it's also cultural relativism. I would agree that, I think most people would agree that in our culture you are expected to do that, and based on those ethics, I suppose, to not do that is sort of absurd. I mean, a lot of people don't like Barack because, let's see, he's black, his name is Barack Hussein Obama. I really don't care. That's not what makes a person. Showing support for your country, however, is, and especially in those small details. I mean, maybe it's not important, like he can do amazing things, but that's something on the surface that people are seeing and just absolutely blown away by. Next would be Reverend Wright. Obviously, everyone's been talking about that lately. I personally, I think everyone has a spiritual mentor, or not everyone, but if you choose to have one, they usually do have a huge influence on your life. I know my pastor, I've gone to him for several things, and his beliefs, partially because he is my teacher, they really do, they make me think, they soak in, and going to my church, I'm expected to sort of go along with the things that are going on. And Reverend Wright videotaped, well, he didn't videotape, it is one of his services actually chanting, basically, "Goddamn America." Now, I watched one video in one of my classes recently, and it's called Obsession. It has to do with like those of radical Islam, and you see them just chanting "Death to America," and me watching that, both the people cheering Reverend Wright on and the people cheering on, I don't know what they're actually called, that's absolutely terrible for anyone who's Islamic, but their leaders, seeing people, it was basically the exact same image to me, but a different religion. Do you really think that if he's going to that church, that his ideas aren't someone based on that? My camera's doing something really weird. I'm probably gonna have to like redo this entire video. Hey, this is my head. Anyway, those were some of my main things that I had that I was wondering about. If you would, ooh, another one would be, Reverend Wright being on TV and talking about, like, the different theologies that people should be looking into, basically. Okay, you'll just notice that I went through some sort of costume change. All the electricity went out, and, like, my battery pack for my computer went out, and everything got restarted, and absolute absurdism, and I was carrying a candle of hot wax, and it got all over me, so, okay, new shirt. Anyway, basically, going back to, Reverend Wright would be, he was on a talk show, and he was talking about, different liberation theologies, and talking about how you should read Cohen's books. Cohen, basically, what he writes about is, a Marxist strategy, which, would be defined as undermining legitimate Catholicism, basically to gain government control, which, doesn't sound too appealing to me. And he talks about this one guy named Che Guevara, which happens to be a part of Obama's political campaign. He has the picture of him in one of the offices. Kind of absurd, but he's basically portrayed as a communist mass murderer who a lot of people kind of consider him to be Christ-like in the teachings that Reverend Wright has been giving, and Reverend Wright is very adamant about it. He kind of just went off on this one talk show, talking also about black liberation theology, which I won't go into as much because that's more of, sort of goes into, like, racial stuff, and that's honestly not what I'm focusing on. Anyway, first off, I would like to apologize that this entire video I have this crazy glare on my glasses. My room doesn't have much light because I'm in the attic, so I have, like, crazy lights everywhere, and weird lights, computer lights, no lights, whatever. And anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time in watching this video, and hopefully I'll get a response. Alright? Oh, P.S. I can't really do the Nerd Fighter sign. People, focus. I can't do this hand. It does this weird, like, I don't like you, I can't separate thing. So, Nerd Fighter. Okay, see ya.